to my channel. Today I'm going to be talking about one of the most asked questions that I get asked from you guys all the time, and that is, what is it like living abroad? Now personally, I have lived in 3 different countries. I was born and I grew up in the UK, in England. I then moved to Dubai when I was 21, and currently I am living in Argentina, in Buenos Aires. So I have a little bit of experience about what it's like to live abroad. So yeah, I'm going to tell you all about that. Before we get started, make sure that you subscribe to my channel, hit the notification button, and head over to Instagram and follow us over there. I've popped the link just below in the description box, so go and check that out. And yeah, now we've got all that out of the way, let's get started. Okay, so as I've already said, apart from the country that I'm from and that I've grown up, I have lived in 2 different countries. Now Dubai was a totally different culture than what I was used to ever, and now I'm living in Argentina, which the language is completely different than obviously English, which I speak all the time. Now my Spanish is still not very good, I'm still learning, so any help will be super helpful from you guys. So if you have any awesome tips on how I can learn Spanish, just drop that down below in the comment section and I will definitely be all over that. So I'm just going to start off by saying that when I was working for Emirates and we was on a plane and maybe there was 800, 700 passengers on that flight, I always found it so super fascinating that everyone on the flight was traveling for a different reason, and whether it be for good, bad, holidays, vacations, honeymoon, work, to see family. I just always found it super incredible that people sat either sides of you can be traveling for 2 completely different reasons. So yeah, firstly let's talk about why people might move abroad. Obviously the big one, the main one would be work, for family, for love I guess, for I don't know, maybe they just want to go traveling, they want to try something new. Now a lot of people, when you talk to them about living abroad that haven't lived abroad themselves, always think of it as similar to being on holiday, but not. I don't know. And honestly, it's completely different than being on holiday. Like, you have to immerse yourself in things more. You're not there just for 2 weeks, so you don't have to do everything all at once. You have to slowly ease yourself into the prospect of living somewhere, you know. You don't just get there and think, oh, it's 1 week, so every morning I have to get up and I have to go and see this. You know, you land at the airport, you have your bags, you have your luggage, and all of a sudden this realization hits you that's like, oh, like, this is it, you know, this is my life, my belongings are in these bags here, and this is where I am now, and you know, like, this is my life, I've got to make this work. Living abroad can be really, really exciting. It can be such a life-transforming experience. However, living abroad really depends on your own willingness to take risks, to go outside of your comfort zone, and how you can embrace being in a completely new situation. Okay, so for me, I think the absolute best thing about living abroad is literally all the new things you get to experience straight away. You know, you get to experience new food. For me, that's my absolute favorite, honestly. If I moved to Italy, I would eat every single pizza every single day until I had exhausted them all. I love that you get to see new things all the time. You're constantly admiring the really small things in life that you probably would never used to have done back at home. Another really great thing about living abroad is that you are constantly learning. You know, you can learn a new language, you get to learn more about different cultures, you get to immerse yourself in so many new things that your mindset is constantly expanding. You constantly feel like, oh, what's this over here? This is new. Or, oh, a new language, or a new word, or a new term. And yeah, you're constantly growing as a person, you're constantly expanding who you are. You know, you are becoming so much more in touch with different aspects of the world and different cultures and what people are like in different places. I think it really helps you to grow as a person. Like, I don't really feel like there's a way that you can move abroad. I don't really feel like there's a way that you can move abroad and be a total introvert. It really, really makes you come out of your shell, come out of your box. You know, you have to go and meet people. You have to go and try something new. Try this activity, join this gym, go to this just to try and meet people, to try and immerse yourself in this new place that you're in, to build your own life somewhere else. And it really forces you to really come out of your comfort zone and really explore more about who you are and what you like and what you don't like and what you're into. Honestly, and all the while along the way, making new friends from all over the world, seeing how they've lived, how their background's been, what they like, what they don't like. And whether you choose to live abroad forever or not, you now have all these new friends, all these new contacts, all these new people in so many different areas of the world that for the rest of your life, maybe you want a vacation, maybe you want to stay in touch, maybe you want to chat with people from, you know, a different stage of your life. or you want a free holiday, or you know, there's always an option of going seeing these people again. So yeah, that's really super awesome. I know I've made some really nice friends from all over the world from living in different areas, and yeah, I think that's really one of the major advantages of it. It really shows you how you as a person can overcome obstacles that you face, whether it be needing to find a new apartment, renting a car. You know, it really teaches you that you have to handle these things for yourself. You have to really know what you're doing. You have to learn, you have to read about things. It really teaches you that you have to go out of your comfort zone. And yeah, it really shows you how capable you are of doing things when the situations arises. So yeah, I think that's enough of the advantages of living abroad. You know, it is such a great opportunity to see the world and experience things. However, obviously not everything about living abroad is good. Now, my absolute biggest downside of living abroad obviously is missing my family and missing home, missing birthdays and missing Christmas, missing celebrations. Obviously that will happen when you live abroad. You have days where you feel super alone and super lonely and you feel like you're missing everything. But honestly, with technology nowadays, with FaceTime and Skype, and obviously flights seem to be a lot more accessible nowadays. You know, they're always going. You know, there's always a way to overcome that. There's always people willing to chat, that want to chat to you, that miss you too. So yeah, for me, that is the absolute biggest downside. Obviously, I'm a family person. I love my family. So yeah, my second downside is definitely the obstacles that you come up against while living abroad. The language barriers can sometimes be really difficult. The different culture. I know in Dubai, that culture was completely different than what I was used to. You know, the way the dress code was, the Ramadan, the not eating at certain times. Trying to sometimes change your life to fit into that culture can be really difficult, especially if it's nothing that you're used to at all. Another downside is that literally if you go somewhere completely alone, you will get there and you'll have no friends and you won't know anybody at all. And that can be really quite lonely, unless you yourself are willing to go out and meet people, to go out and make the effort, to go out and join a gym, or to go out and, you know, do something. You will be really quite lonely there. You know, days, night times can become quite down. It can be quite a bad thing. But honestly, that just depends on who you are as a person and whether you're willing to go out of your comfort zone to meet someone. Another thing is that when you first arrive somewhere, you are completely uncomfortable. You know, nothing feels right. You don't feel like you're at home. You know, all the things that you used to for comfort, you know, your childhood bed, certain foods, certain malls, certain shops, all of a sudden they're not there anymore, and you know, you're somewhere where the food is completely different and you've got to try new things, and it takes and honestly it really does take a few weeks / months to actually feel comfortable somewhere, to feel like, okay, I'll go out and do this, or I'll go out and do this. So yeah, eventually you do have to stop comparing the places and just be like, okay, yeah, I'm here now and that's it. So I have to do this and I will live like this and I will try this, and yeah, eventually that subsides. You know, at times, there will be times where you think, that's it, I'm done, I just want to go home, I've had enough. And honestly, that will happen, and that will happen a fair few times. I know when I first got to Dubai, I was fine, and then after a few months I was like, oh, I just want to go home. And you literally, it's just constantly like this all the time. One day you feel great, the next day you don't feel great, the next day you're right up here again. And yeah, it can be really difficult living abroad until you get used to it. The first few months can be a struggle, and yeah, you know, it's not home. It's somewhere completely new, and it's up to you to make it a home, and that can sometimes be quite difficult to understand. Okay, so now I have discussed some of the advantages and some of the disadvantages of living abroad. I will leave you with a few thoughts of my own, I guess. One of them being that I have found since living abroad that whatever country you go to, it's just the same-ish people living the same lives. You know, they go to the gym, they eat, they spend time with their families, they work. It's just the same people doing the exact same things you do at home. And you are honestly singularly responsible for your time living abroad. If you're gonna mopes and sit in all day, be upset, feel bad about things, not want to be somewhere, you will have the worst time ever. If you go somewhere, if you immerse yourself in things, if you join in things, if you try new things, if you explore, and if you think, okay, this is it, I'm here, let's just go for it, let's just experience everything, then you'll have an awesome time. And honestly, even if you have the worst time ever, you can always go home. Like, you're not forced to live somewhere forever. You can always go, you know, you can leave. Unless, obviously, you're in prison or something. I don't know. So, yeah. I think that's it. Obviously, for me, I think it's one of those things, you know, travel makes you richer in culture and food and things and all sorts. You know, eventually... You know, will I always tell people you should live abroad, should you try something new? Of course you should try something new, you know, why not? And worst case scenario, if it doesn't work out, you don't enjoy it, you just go home and nothing's lost, nothing's gained. Whatever, you know, life goes on. So anyway, that is it for me and for today's video. If you have liked today's video, then smash that like button, subscribe to my channel, and I will see you again on the next one.